Guys, Jackie broke up with me this week.
What happened this time, Smith? Did you find your subscription to Econ Boy under your bed?
No. We got in a fight. And I told you, and look at it for the articles anyway.
What happened?
Well, we had an argument, and I was telling her about how cool it would be if it was a car that was a car, but instead of putting gasoline in it, you put Pepto-Bismol. And then from there, I was trying to explain my thoughts on the economy, and I started off, I'm like, whoa, babe, I'm the father of modern free trade, and she just looked at me like, you're wrong, and I was, okay, I went on, and from there I was telling her about laissez-faire, which basically just is that the government keeps their hands off of free trade, meaning that everyone gets to do what they want, there's no real problem, the man doesn't screw with my business. Plain and simple. With that, you can invest and do and trade and sell the way you want to without the government interfering. From there, she continued to look at me and continued to piss and moan, but I went on about how I have also talked about the invisible hand. Not super complicated, basically that there's this natural phenomenon that guides free markets and capitalism through competition and for scarce resources. Scarce resources, driving factor for everything. But nope, still didn't buy it. Just in the end I said, it is not from the benevolence of the butcher, the brewer, or the baker that we can expect dinner, but from the regard of their own interests.
Wow, man. That's kind of rough. You'll find someone better, though.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get over her. Hey Fisher, did you see that girl at the gas station with the nice rack? So into me.
Are you kidding me? She was definitely listening to me talking about the quantitative theory of money, which says that the money supply has a direct, proportional relationship with the price level. It's represented by my equation MV equals PT, where M is the stock of money, P is the price level, T is the amount of transactions carried out using the money, and V is the velocity of the circulation of the money. People didn't listen to me back in the Great Depression when I told them the economy was experiencing too much deflation, but I'm kind of over it. It's like I always say, the rate of interest acts as a link between income value and capital value. It's all pretty laid out in my book, Mathematical Investigations and Theory of Value and Prices. Why in the world would you care about your book about the wealth of nations? Come on.
Yeah, well, she complimented my choice of diesel. Keynes, are you doodling?
Sorry, I'm working on my new model for aggregate supply and aggregate demand.
The aggregate supply curve shows the amount that will be supplied by the firms in the economy at each price level. The aggregate demand curve shows the level of aggregate demand at every price level. This will always be downward sloping because there's always be less demand for goods at a higher price. The macroeconomics equilibrium curve results when the aggregate demand equals aggregate supply with no tendency for output or the price level to change. All of these curves support my theory of Keynesian economics, which is that active government intervention in marketplace and monetary policy is the method of ensuring economic growth and stability. I believe that it is the government's job to smooth out the bumps in the business cycle. My theory would stimulate the economy through government expenditures as well as reduce interest rates. You can read all about my theories in my book, The General Theory of Employment, Interest, and Money.
That's cool and all, but why aren't you wearing pants?
Sorry, I like to breathe.
I don't even know why I sit in the circle with you guys.
You know you love us, Milton.
But you're all wrong. As a leader of the Chicago School of Economics, I theorize there existed a natural rate of unemployment. I argue the central government cannot micromanage the economy because people would realize what the government was doing and change their behavior. To neutralize such policies known as monetarism, which could have prevented the Great Depression. I argue a steady, small expansion of money supply would have been the only wise policy. Governments never learn. Only people learn.
Monetarism, the belief that inflation depends on how much money is printed by the government. It's like when Pac-Man runs away from all the little ghosts.
There's only one way to solve this. We're going back to the gas station.
Yes!
I'll get my pants.
God, I can't believe Wiemann stole my broad.
You know, it's not his fault. Maximized his utility by getting the most out of the scarce resources that he had. You know what? I think we should just go watch Star Wars. To the drive-in.